Welcome back to Kevin's Indoor Nature Experience. I'm glad you're here with us today. Before we get into our next episode, I want to tell you a little bit about what's coming up. It's going to be on bullhead and minnows. But I'm way ahead of myself. Before we go into that, we should really focus on what's about to happen. And that is slimies and hoppers. I hope you enjoy it. This is the yellow-spotted salamander. It's an amphibian. It has very moist skin and has to stay that way. If its skin doesn't stay moist, it will actually end up dying. The reason its skin has to stay moist is that's how it breathes. Salamanders don't have any lungs, so they have to breathe through their skin. They don't have any gills either, so they breathe through their skin even when underwater. If you look here, this salamander is called the worm. It shakes its head violently back and forth to make sure that worm isn't going anywhere. Their gums, or their mouths, are actually very gummy. Along the rims of their mouth, it's actually kind of like sandpaper, a very fine sandpaper. These salamanders have even been known to attack humans. They don't follow the saying, "Don't bite the hand that feeds you." They've actually latched onto fingers and started shaking wildly until they pretty much just flung themselves off. Digesting is a problem, however, because their stomachs aren't real big. So a worm this size that, as you can see, is trying to get away, it can't. As it goes down into the stomach, it slowly digests it while it holds the rest of it in its mouth. As the worm digests, it will continue biting down on this worm and bringing it further and further into its stomach. As you can see, there's also a leopard frog up in the corner there. We'll get to those later. So here we can see the salamander again is just trying to slowly digest this worm as it keeps putting it further and further into its mouth. These salamanders are known to eat pretty often. They can go for a while without food, however. These are amazing creatures, even though they're not that quick. They can lunge at a pretty rapid speed. Like I said, here's the northern leopard frog. They too have the same problem with not having a very large stomach. So this one also had a worm. Frogs have lungs, so they don't have to stay moist for the reason of not being able to breathe. That salamander is staying down deeper, where it's moist and can stay hidden from predators. That grasshopper just jumped on in there and the frog lunged at it immediately. It's coming off a long winter and is quite hungry. It uses its hands to secure its food in its mouth. However, he missed a little bit of a leg there. Thanks for joining in. I hope you learned something. I look forward to seeing you next time on Kevin's Indoor Nature Experience.